Hey, hi everyone. So it's been a couple of weeks since I did live because of my super hectic schedule, but I'm back. Today I have around 40 minutes, and from next week, I'll make sure I give you guys 90 minutes of undivided attention so that I can answer all your questions. So today I'll be here for around 40 minutes, try to answer the first 5 to 10 questions, and then I'll be taking things from there. So, hi, engineer. Hi, Vijay. Hi, everyone. So, let's take up the first question from Manish. Why many people gain weight fast after transforming? Wow. So, if you look at the conventional method of transformations that most of the coaches offer, they do something called as calorie restriction, which is going to work. Okay, calorie restriction. I'm not an enemy against calorie restriction, but you have to understand that if you reduce the amount of food you eat, and if you increase the activity, your hunger levels are always on the rise. So you have a target of, let's say, losing 10 kgs. Until then, you will be somehow using the willpower or whatever power in the world to manage that hunger. But the moment you reach your target, you give up and you start eating more. That is one way of putting it. And the other way is, a lot of people do their transformation for others to prove a point, and the moment the point is proven, they get back to their old habits. Habits is what makes transformation long lasting. So if you look at the clients that I try to transform, there are guys who want the fast edge and like just want to like reach a goal and then stop. But most of the clients who come to me want to transform and stay fit forever. So in this kind of cases, I don't try to rush on just reducing the food and increasing the activity. Rather, we choose food items that are suitable and sustainable for the person, and we plan a diet and quantity so that he does not feel hunger driven, and we develop lifestyle habits step by step over a period of 12 to 24 weeks, where the person loses a lot of fat, builds some muscle, gets into shape, and understands his body, and using the habits learned and adapted is able to maintain results. So when it comes to transformation, rather than just focusing on losing weight, reducing food, and just increasing activity, create habits that can live along with you. For example, our parents taught us to brush our tooth and take a shower in the morning. We have been doing it ever since we can remember. Same way, if fitness habits are followed, you will transform and stay fit forever. Okay, the next question, Anjali Sharma. Solution for PCOD. Before like jumping into solution, I just want to give a context of what is PCOD or PCOS. Okay, usually if you get a cyst, okay, let's say like you get an additional growth of unwanted tissue, like like an acne or a pimple or whatever you call it on your ovaries, we call it a cyst on the ovary. And if there are multiple cysts on the ovary, what happens is the ratio between the male hormone and the female hormone in the woman's body gets altered. And when it gets altered, the woman starts gaining weight. That is one part of it. The next thing is they start developing insulin resistance, which means the carbohydrate that they eat does not get deposited into the muscle, rather it gets floated in the blood and gets converted into fat. Third thing, their metabolism goes down, and because of which their thyroid regulation also goes down. So when you get a cyst in your ovary, it first alters the ratio of the male to female hormone, then affects your insulin resistance, and then affects your metabolism. So if you want to cure it, we have to work on the reverse order. And there are two types of it, PCOD and PCOS, where PCOS is something that they gain due to hereditary genetics and stuff like that. PCOD is strictly because of bad lifestyle. These are categorized under lifestyle disorder, where like a girl, let's say on her puberty age, starts eating a lot of junk food and like does not get enough activity, then this is more prone to happen for her. The side effects because of PCOD may be facial hair and like male pattern, wide shoulder, narrow waist type of thing. If you want to cure it, there is no specific medication for this. Even the doctors will tell you get your weight down. So what you have to work on if you have PCOD or PCOS is cure the uh, thyroid regulation. How can you increase your thyroid activity? By increasing your exercise. So number one for curing PCOD is exercise, and it research show that resistance training on a regular basis gives better results than just doing cardio. So have a combination of some cardio and weight training together. That would be number one. Second part, we have to treat the insulin resistance that is getting developed. For that, we have to go on a diet that does not have any kind of sugar, or let's say any kind of fast acting carbohydrates. So I would ideally recommend you to reduce starchy carbohydrates also and go more on salads, good fats from olive oil, nuts and fish, a protein rich diet. So when you are on a diet like this for longer duration, it is proven to reduce the insulin resistance, and hence that part can be slowly reversed. And the when you're following works to reduce your insulin resistance and become more receptive to insulin and become more like you can utilize your carb more, and when you're active and increase your metabolism, automatically your PCOD starts reversing, and in a matter of 6 to 8 months it gets completely reversed. And remember, what took you to the reversal is needed to sustain the results. So follow a lifestyle that does not have any processed food, give more weightage to the vegetables, and stay active always, and PCOD will never peep back into your life again. Hi Ramesh, hi DK Fitness. And then the next question: why women gain weight in the lower body more? Wow. So I think so I have explained about fat in multiple of my video, but I'll give you a small gist and then get on to it. Okay, when it comes to fat, not everyone gains the same kind of fat pattern. The reason is each individual is different. Each individual carries a different kind of genetics. That is number one. Each person carries a different lifestyle. Number two, and they are in different geographical position. Number three. So these three factors are major components of fat accumulation. And when it comes to women, you have to understand that when a woman attains puberty, that is, she starts getting her period, that time the body starts preparing for a baby delivery. What is going to happen to the woman's body when she has to deliver the baby is her hip bones are connected like this. They have to expand away so that the baby can come out. In order to prevent any kind of major damage, the body starts accumulating essential fats around the hip bone and the hip muscles. When it is essential fat, they don't become saggy and stuff. They are just tight, and they just make sure that everything is intact. But this is why in the olden days they had specific kind of, let's say, ritualistic diets or something like that, that were rich in nuts and very specific kinds of oils. But today what happens is the girls are binge fed. They are just fed with tons of sweets and chocolates that don't have those essential fat. When essential fats are not present in the diet, the body goes into a panic mode and thinks, hey, I've started getting my periods, and if I find my mate, I have to deliver the baby, I have to secure my hip bone. So it starts depositing any kind of fat that comes into the body and starts depositing it around the hip, butt, and thighs. When it is The non-essential fat, the body never has the understanding that I have got enough fat for security. So what happens is it keeps on adding more and more and more fat. So women gaining more fat in the lower body is more linked towards the hormonal changes that happen during the puberty and the kind of diet that they eat. Is this reversible? Yes, but it's going to be a slow process if you have already gained a lot of weight. So the number one thing is you have to include more essential fat and cut down on all the junk fat that you are consuming and increase your fiber. When you are getting good amount of essential fat, the body realizes that it does not need to hold so much of fat. And when you are becoming an active person with a balanced diet rich in essential fat, your body starts losing fat even from the hips step by step. But understand, it is a slow process. The best way to prevent that abnormal level of weight gain in the lower body is to plan the diet for children from their childhood, especially around their puberty period, so that they don't gain too much weight around the hip. And when the food is good, rich in essential fats, omega-3 fats, then the hip bone can expand and contract during delivery without creating major damage to the body. Hope that answers your question. Let's move on to the next question. Before jumping into the question, now people will ask, why is this guy drinking soda? I just enjoy plain soda, but this is not plain soda. I just had the bottle filled with water before sitting on live, running like crazy for the past few days on fixing up things. So let's jump on to the next question. Ramesh T. I have a disc bulge. Please suggest how to treat. Okay. First and foremost, I get tons of questions on disc bulge and exercises on my Instagram DM, on comments for many YouTube videos, on my Facebook and everywhere. Let me first make things clear. If you have a bad disc bulge, then only a doctor through his medical practice or medical procedure can cure you. Okay, let's understand what is disc bulge and let me tell you how to prevent it. And if you have already done the rehab, let me give you tips on how to maintain safety of your lower back. Okay, if you look at the spinal column, the last few bones near your hip are responsible for your bending and getting straight, where they take up maximum load. That is the reason why even when while doing deadlift, we say don't arch your back has to be straight and stuff like that. These are very delicately placed, one bone over the other, and in between these bones is where the main nerve channel for the entire body connecting the brain runs. Okay, so when you are irresponsible and like bend and lift things without maintaining proper posture, then what happens is there are like jelly like substances between these bones which lubricate and keep the bones in position. When you try to move around without responsibility and in improper form and try to bend and lift things, these jelly like layers get damaged, and we call it a prolapse, where these things bulge out of your bone structure. When they bulge out, it is not just a bulging, but they are pressing, that is compressing the nerve channel that is coming through those segments. And when the nerve channels are pressed, you suffer pain, you suffer numbness in the lower body based on which side it is pressing, and you start losing a little bit of sensation, and your leg does not listen to what commands your brain gives. So it becomes very tough for people to move around and they are in constant pain. What's the most important thing that you have to remember in order to preserve safety of the lower back? When you are trying to bend down and pick things, don't just bend down with the straight leg, rather squat down and then pick up things from the ground. And if you are doing exercises like deadlift, make sure you squat and lift the weight and your back is always in its natural arch and it does not droop down or overextend. Okay, these are very important. Are there exercises that can strengthen your lower back? Yes. Doing exercises for your core, doing exercises like hyperextension, good morning exercise with the bamboo is a good start where you start working your lower back muscle and then you add up a little bit weight, which strengthens the muscles around the spine, which improves the stability. If, let's say, the bones are vulnerable, that's how it is created. If we strengthen the muscles around the bone, then the bone becomes more safer. So doing good morning exercise, hyperextension, cobra stretch, planks, exercises like these improve the stability of your spine and the muscles that is surrounding the spine. Then if you are doing heavy lifting, use a belt for your heavy set. Some people I see, they wear belt from the first set. If you're tying it up tight from the first set, you don't give enough engagement to the lower back muscle. Rather, when you're using a belt for the heavy set, if you see, you tie it tight. So what happens is your spine is maintained in the position and everything is compressed because of the belt, which gives additional stability and safety. So belt, use it on heavy sets, not on the lighter sets. For the safety and like stability of your lower back, do exercises like good morning and all core stabilization exercises, strengthen the muscles around the spine, that adds stability to the spine. And belt, if you are already injured, what should be done? Don't ask a gym bro or gym buddy asking how to strengthen the lower back. Rather, go to a doctor, see what level of bulge is there, what treatment needs to be taken. It is always better to get it treated and listen to a qualified rehabilitation expert. The reason why I say this and stress this is because after checking your MRI and scans, these rehabilitation experts can give you specific exercises analyzing your position, so that like when it is lower back muscle, there are lots of muscle. One side may be weaker for you, on the other side may be stronger, or there may be particular area that is not strong. So these rehabilitation experts will teach you how to target those muscles based on your MRI and reading. Once that is strengthened, you can get back to the gym and slowly start lifting. Once you're into the gym, good morning with bamboo and slowly progressing with weights would be the number one thing to stabilize your lower back. Doing core exercises, overall stability of the spine, and you can slowly progress in your weights and start lifting heavier. Mr. Ramesh, hope it answered your question. Next question is from Jayant. Post some chicken recipes without oil. That would be really helpful. Okay, let me just say it out here. Okay, use a non-stick pan and use some marinade and a little bit of curd, and I prefer adding a whole egg into the marinade so that the fat in it is going to help you grease the pan, so you don't add any additional oil in it. Okay, and use a country chicken egg or a free range egg so that the fat in it is all good. That is one part of the equation. Okay, if essential fats are okay, and if you want absolutely no fat in your meal, then I would say go on a OTG griller with some like home prepared marinade on top of it. That would be easy. Or the traditional bodybuilding diet, steam it or boil it along with minimal spices. That's also one way, Giant. Okay, next is Shiva Shankar. Explain about nitric oxide booster supplement, its side effects. Okay, nitric oxide is the name given to arginine based supplements. Okay, arginine is an amino acid that is a vasodilator, which means it can increase the blood flow through your veins. When there is more blood flow, you get better pump and better mind muscle contraction. That is the reason why we supplement arginine if required before a workout. A lot of nitric oxide supplements, the reason why they are named as nitric oxide supplements is because it helps increase the nitrogen balance in the body. Nitrogen balance is very essential for building up of muscle. Okay, that's the reason why they name it nitric oxide supplements. And most of the nitric oxide supplements today come with caffeine, which is a stimulant, some creatine, which can accentuate, that is, increase the amount of pump you get and probably recovery, and arginine, different esters of arginine alpha ketogulate, or different esters of arginine, which can increase the pump and blood flow. And some pre-workout supplement, the nitric oxide supplements, also add beta alanine, which delays the onset of the acid buildup, which gives you the pain. Okay, so these are all the ingredients of nitric oxide supplements. But the one thing that may be harmful for some individuals who already have palpitation or heart related issue would be the extra dosage of caffeine, which can make them a little anxious, which is tough to handle for specific people. And there are certain brands which come up with too much dosage of caffeine, which can be harmful even for normal people. So this is one reason why I recommend my clients to go on each individual component of their pre-workout individually. Like, I ask them to have their black coffee shot based on how much caffeine is needed, and add arginine as pills or powder in their pre-workout, so that they know exactly how much is required. When we are going for a pre-mixed formula, you don't have control of how much of each component you need. For example, a 70 to 80 kg bodybuilder, I would recommend somewhere around 500 to 750 milligram of arginine. But most of the nitric oxide supplement starts with 1.5 to 2 grams of arginine, which may be too much for the body weight they are in. So side effects, not really big side effects, but specific people, because of the stimulant, may have side effects, and certain things are overdosed, which get wasted in the body. Other than that, I don't see much damage being done. Nitric oxide supplement is relatively safer. Okay. Decay fitness. Is injection is more important in bodybuilding sport? See, if you take out all the drugs from bodybuilding, still the same person winning the big shows will continue to win, because the person is able to put in that much amount of dedication, hard work, consistency, day in and day out for years together. Okay, so there is a saying in Tamil which goes like this: Ammanama irukra oorla thuni podradhu thappu, which means on a city of nude people wearing dress is a mistake. So that's how many sports are today, where drugs are being used, and the bodybuilding and powerlifting sports are ridiculed because the result is seen rather than performance. When somebody runs 100 meters in 9 seconds, people don't think it is inhuman. And when somebody has a 17-inch arm, people think it is inhuman. So that's how a lot of things happen in this world. And when it comes to health and safety, it is not safe. And especially when people overdose, it is extremely dangerous while using stuffs like this. So I do not recommend anyone and everyone to use this, but there are people who have already decided to use. At least be sensible enough to take care of your health and get guidance from someone who understands the health part of using these components. Sam, how to overcome muscle soreness? Okay, muscle soreness. Let's say you work out today and then tomorrow you're feeling that your muscle is paining, which can be taken as good if it's the first 1 or 2 workout. But if it continues, then there are certain things that you have to pay attention. The number one thing that I would pay attention if you have continuous muscle soreness is increase the amount of protein in your diet. If your muscle is not recovering, what is required for recovering your muscle? The damaged muscle cells have to be repaired, which means the primary thing required would be additional protein. Okay, that would be step 1. Step number 2 would be to help the muscle relax a little bit faster, which could be by taking sauna or steam bath, as I would say, and doing some stretching. Okay, these two are going to help the muscle, like release the toxins and feel a little bit free, which has shown scientifically to increase the rate of recovery. These two would be the primary things that I would try to fix. And the most important third one, which is forgotten, is the sleep. Many people don't get into a deep sleep, which can be a major factor in recovery. So if your protein is fixed, and if you're doing like recovery techniques like stretching and sauna, and if you feel that you're still not recovering, try to check your sleep. Some people go to bed early and wake up, let's say 8 hours apart, but the quality of sleep is bad, where they wake up 7 to 8 times in their sleep, which means they are not getting proper sleep. So if you're not getting proper sleep, I'll give you one super simple tip which works for many people. A gram of fish oil and 5 ml of forest honey 5 minutes before going to bed has shown to improve the quality of sleep. Many people take supplements like melatonin and other stuffs, which can make you a little dependent, but trying this natural remedy of fish oil and honey can be very beneficial for people in terms of recovery and quality sleep. So for muscle soreness and recovery, increase protein, recovery technique like stretching and sauna, work on the quality of sleep. Good. The next question is from engineer photographer. During bench press, I can feel some burning effect and pain in my elbow. I cannot push after certain weight when I lift heavy. Why this happens? I assume that the burning sensation in your elbow is preventing you from lifting heavy, if not the muscle failure. See, usually when you feel nagginess in your elbows, then it gives you a sign, okay? Every problem in our body or any future problems that is building up is prevented by giving us a warning sign. So the body is giving you the burn in the elbows or the nagginess in the elbows, saying that your muscles are growing stronger, but my joints need more time. If you look at powerlifters, they don't go on one rep max throughout their career. They go on one phase of increasing their one rep max, and then they go on a subtle period where they train light in order to give their joints some rest. So if the burning sensation continues, I would say going light for a couple of weeks would be the best solution, and you will be able to hit your PR after 2 weeks. That would be number one. Number two would be adding a supplement that can improve your joint health. There are supplements called as glucosamine, chondroitin, and MSM. The combination helps you improve the joint health, which can be beneficial for situations like this and when you are trying to gain strength on any of your lifts. And the third thing would be on a bench press, if you're getting elbow burn, it could be because you're having a little bit weaker triceps. So working more on your triceps, not on the extension movement, but on, like the pressing movements and the lateral movements, can improve the load that your triceps can handle and also reduce the nagginess in your elbows. So hope that answers your question, engineer. Next one is Guhan. I am 93, 178, 27% fat. My maintenance calorie irukum. Please solunga. Guhan, I think so. You have asked about maintenance calorie deficit in almost all my life. I appreciate and admire the regularity with which you attend all my lives. So proud of you. But understand this. It is not just the calories. Calories without the ingredients and food choices is of no use. Okay. So I would say, let's say you're 93 and let's say 27% body fat. I don't know how you measured it. Let's say you have 75 to 80 kgs of muscle, of lean body mass in your body. Okay. Let's assume in that case, you need somewhere around 150 to 160 grams of protein. So Check number one. Are you able to get 150 to 160 grams of protein split across 5 meals? You need at least 40 to 50 grams of fat from essential sources split across 5 meals. Check number two, is your fat is in place? Check number three, am I getting fresh vegetables of 3 to 4 colors every day split across at least 3 of my major meals, at least a handful of portion on each of these meals? Check number three, awesome. Am I getting quality unprocessed carbohydrates around my active hours, let's say breakfast and before your workout? Check number four. Validate these 4 checks and your diet will be helping you to gain muscle and lose fat simultaneously. Let me reiterate it short, like setting up a balanced diet for muscle gain and fat loss. Check number one, are you getting roughly 2 grams of protein per kg split across 5 meals? Check number two, are you getting, like one half of your weight in kgs, let's say 80 kg guy getting 40 kgs, okay, roughly around 40 kgs of fat split across 5 meals. Check number three, are you getting a handful of assorted vegetables in 3 of your major meals? And check number four, unprocessed quality carbohydrates around your workout and breakfast. If you validate these 4 checks, you're in a very good diet that's going to help you lose fat and gain muscle if you work out hard. Eric, master study says creatine increase DHT, which causes hair loss. Is it true? I need to see those studies. Okay. See, the problem is your workout also increases DHT. Okay. If you are genetically strong, then your DHT goes high. Okay. There are multiple ways by which DHT can increase, but how much DHT is increased is very important. Okay. Let's say workout increases testosterone. Okay. It's a world known fact. Squatting is one of the best exercises to increase testosterone. The reason for people getting gynecomastia, that is the fat around the nipple or man boobs, is because they have too much testosterone, which gets converted into estrogen to stabilize the testosterone levels in these areas. So can I assume that squatting will give you man boobs? That would be ridiculous. So there are a lot of studies that exist which just conclude by making assumptions. Okay. All hormones are important, may it be DHT, may it be prolactin, may it be progesterone, estrogen, testosterone. All of them are important on a male body and a female body, but how much of it is maintained in the body, the range, the values, the range plays a very significant role in your health. So I would recommend not to confuse yourself too much. Creatine is not going to directly cause any kind of hair fall as far as I know, and I have recommended creatine, let's say, for thousands and thousands of people over the past 2 decades, and I haven't seen hair fall because of creatine directly. Oops, I think so. I just jumped some question. Let me scroll back. Hey, hi, Vedic Life, DK Fitness. How to calculate calories, master? I think so. I answered about calories already. Arun Karthik, guys, I'm very sorry about the noise outside. That's the trash man trying to collect the trash. Okay. Luckily today, the automobile is not there, which will sing a song on a speaker. If that had started, I would have had to cut down on the live, but luckily it is just the whistle, and please bear with me. I use olive oil for cooking. My gym master said that olive oil is good compared to that other oils. Is it true? Amazing question, Arun. This is something that I want to educate everyone about. Olive oil is one of the best oils in the world if it is taken from a cold process where it is not heated, and if it is extra virgin. Scientific research show that it may reduce the risk of heart disease. Italians have lesser incidence of heart attacks compared to the other people because of the amount of olive oil they consume. Wow, so olive oil is tremendous. But taking this research into consideration, Lot of coaches these days say, cook your chicken in olive oil, cook your fish in olive oil, cook your food in olive oil. It is healthy, which is bunch of nonsense. Why? Olive oil is stable and is considered healthy only when it is not heated. I'll tell you an experiment. Heat a pan and pour olive oil and continue heating it without adding anything, the oil will burn. Okay, the reason why other oils are bad is because of the bond breaking while like cooking, it becomes more and more bad. Okay, so olive oil when heated becomes bad faster than other oil. Let's say the gingerly or sesame seed oil usually Indians use is not a bad oil, but when it is overheated, it turns bad, can increase the bad cholesterol, can increase the risk of cancer, and so on and so forth. But olive oil, the moment you start heating it, turns much more worse than the sesame seed oil, which was heated for an hour. So, olive oil is amazingly beneficial for your health if it is used as a topping, like how the Italians use on top of your food. Let's say on top of your vegetable salad, along with little bit of vinaigrette, salt and pepper, or on top of your, like roti, a spoon of it, and then adding your side dish or something like that. Or I sometimes take a spoon of olive oil and drink it along with my meal. My favorite thing is 5 ml of apple cider vinegar and 10 ml of olive oil before my heavy meals is a great thing for my health, okay, which I learned from Dave Palumbo. So olive oil unheated is amazingly good. The moment you heat it, it is the worst oil you can use. And there are some brands that are selling that we sell cooking olive oil. I cannot express more than this carpe symbol to those people. So olive oil, not for cooking, Arun Karthik, but it's amazing if you have it raw. Okay, I'm almost near the 40-minute mark. Let me answer a couple of questions and call this off. Next week, I'll give you 90 minutes. Natural bodybuilding competition, dope test in competition. Okay, let's get to the funny side of bodybuilding, okay? Not trying to demean anyone, but I would challenge anyone to show me a natural bodybuilding contest that is fully dope tested. Okay. Let me not take names. There is a huge muscle name starting maniac contest in the world, which is supposed to be natural bodybuilding contest. You know what kind of drug test happens? The athlete walks down the stage after posing. They ask, "Are you on steroids?" The bodybuilder will say, "I take creatine, glutamine, and other supplements and build my muscle." They'll say, "Okay, very good. You are a natural bodybuilder." So that's the kind of testing that actually happens. And if somebody, like blabbers out saying some compound name, they will take him in and do a lie detector test. Wow. What happened to the blood dope test? I don't know. 99% of the natural bodybuilding contests held across the globe are not tested. The reason being simple, okay? A kit for blood testing, like the metabolites of components is going to cost you somewhere around 80 to 90,000 Indian rupees today. What's the cost of first prize cash prize, first place cash prize that I have received maximum is somewhere around 10,000 rupees on a very good contest, 3,000 rupees on some contests, and zero cash prize on some contests. So when organizers are not able to arrange big prize money for a contest, do you think they can arrange for dope test? Let's say even the first place winners of 10 categories, do you think they are going to spend 8 to 10 lakh rupees on these tests? This is the reason why most of the contests are not dope tested. Then what about all these guys who claim to be natural? They use the word natural because it is fancy and they look ethically correct in front of others. They are the biggest cheaters and losers. compared to the other people who honestly say they are on gear. Okay, I'm not trying to demean anyone. There are some natural bodybuilders around who do it ethically, but most of these Instagram natural bodybuilders and YouTube natural bodybuilders are just fooling you around. So if you're trying to do natural bodybuilding, ethical reasons, do it, brother. Nothing better than that. 100 grams of soy chunks daily, will it increase estrogen level or man boobs? No, it's not going to increase that much amount of estrogen. The reason why I ask you to avoid soy or soy chunks or unfermented soy products is because they are genetically modified crop and they cause a lot of disturbances even in your stomach and absorption. Okay, then comes the estrogen levels. Okay, Manigandan, I had already trained for 7 months, but there was 3 months gap. So it seems to be more fat and also lost some muscle. Now, what need to be first cut or bulk? So many people lift for some time and because of lockdown or whatever reason, they stop for a couple of months and they feel very fat. The reason is they have lost muscle because the muscle did not have the necessity to stay big because they were not lifting and they did not control their food, so they gain fat. What should you do when you get back to gym? I would say don't plan on cutting or bulking. Rather, eat a protein rich diet and carbohydrates around your workout and try to work out regularly for the next 3 to 4 weeks. In the 3 to 4 weeks, what happens? We call it as muscle memory. When your muscles have reached some strength and some size earlier, when you get back to training and give them some protein, they are going to get back to that size and strength very quickly in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So in the next 2 to 3 weeks, your muscles will be back in shape and your fat would have considerably reduced. And from that point on, you can continue on your progress, whatever was your previous goal. So don't confuse yourself on cut and bulk. When you get back to training, get yourself to gym, be regular in training and set up a diet that is high in protein. That's going to take care of your thing. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next question. Limit for vitamins from natural source. Article says, I think so, Guhan, you asked it as a comment also in my YouTube, but let me answer. See, when you are taking food from natural sources, you cannot possibly overload yourself with vitamin because it comes with other things that comes to balance it. But when you are taking vitamins as a supplement, water soluble supplements don't pose a threat, but the fat soluble supplements, when they are in excess, they become very toxic. So if you are supplementing with vitamins, you need to stick to the recommended doses. But if you're, let's say, getting more vitamin because you're eating a lot of carrots and fish, it's not really going to harm you that fast because it comes along with so many other nutrients in these whole foods, which is going to balance it out. Okay, so I think so I've answered a lot of questions and I see a lot of questions pending, but I told I'll be here for 40 minutes and I have been here for more than 45 minutes. So let me answer one last question and call it off. Does adding spices or ketchup or sauce can cause any changes in calories eating without any spices or with spices? Okay, I just want you to turn to the label side of your ketchup or sauce and read it. You will understand. Any tomato ketchup, for example, if you see, the spices really don't pose a threat, but anything that is processed like a ketchup or sauce has, let's say, in 100 ml, 10 to 12 grams of sugars. These sugars are the actual culprit which spoils your diet, not the spices in your ketchup or sauce. That is the reason why I say stay away from processed food. Rather, add the spices and grind your tomato and make something similar to a tomato ketchup at home. It's going to taste better. It's fresh. It is much more healthier. My wife prepares something using onions and tomatoes and spices, which tastes better than the tomato ketchup that we buy in the shop. So find the recipe, make it at home. It's going to be healthy. So with that, I'll call off for today's live. Next week, I promise you, I'll give you 90 minutes to answer all the questions. If I have missed some questions today, I'm extremely sorry. I'm running out of time for today. I'll try to balance things out and keep 90 minutes secluded for you guys on the next week. Until next week, this is your Biglee, over and out.